Week 2 previews here. AFC West matchup between the Broncos and the Chiefs. This game will take place in Denver, and these two teams coming into this game on two totally different notes, to say the least. You have the Chiefs with maybe one of the more disappointing losses of Week 1, losing at home to the Titans, and then you have Denver coming in off a Sunday night game where they were impressive early, hung on to beat the Colts 31-24, and you start off with the Chiefs. I think there's a couple problems with the Chiefs. Number one, the Jamal Charles issue where he didn't get the ball that much in Week 1. I think you'll see that change here in Week 2 at Denver. You're going up against a prolific Denver Broncos offense. You want to limit their possessions. And the way the Chiefs are going to do that is by getting Jamal Charles involved in the passing game and in the running game. So look for him to be a big factor there. I think he's going to be even a bigger factor because I think that as far as the passing game goes, there's going to be a lot of short routes, get the ball out quick type passes for Alex Smith, because I think we all saw last week the deficiencies in that Chiefs offensive line. And I think they're going to be in big trouble if they can't even run block, but even in bigger trouble in this particular game if they get into predictable pass situations. I think the Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware combo is just salivating at the opportunity to get after this offensive line. It's the weakness of the Chiefs team. I think it's going to affect Alex Smith as it did in Week 1. I think that could be a season-long thing if they don't give him time to throw. Look, Alex Smith has one of the highest win percentages in the NFL in the last 3-4 years. It's been well documented, but he's always had a pretty good offensive line at minimum in front of him. If you look at the lines he had with the 49ers and the Chiefs line last year, although not great, was functional. This line didn't even look functional in Week 1. When you look at the Broncos, look, their offense looked like a well-oiled machine. I think you're going to see Julius Thomas have a much bigger role this year. Demaryius Thomas always has a big role for this team. But how do the Chiefs linebackers cover Julius Thomas, I think, is going to be key. And then when you look, obviously, also at the fact that this Denver Broncos offense, it just seems that they can just plug guys in and Peyton Manning can find them. I don't think the Broncos offense is going to be as good as it was last year, but I also think in order to have the upper hand against them, you have to find some way to disrupt Peyton Manning's rhythm, because I think there's still an offense that can put up 28 to 32 points without even blinking. They were historic last year. I don't think they're going to be historic this year, but obviously way more than serviceable and probably still the best offense in the league. And I think, to disrupt the rhythm of Manning is to take away some of that firepower. And Tom Ali and Justin Houston are going to need superb performances to cover up for what is probably the second biggest deficiency on this Chiefs team, which is that secondary that I'm completely not buying into, especially since I saw what Jake Locker was able to do to them last week. So I'm really down on the Chiefs right now because I think it's in this day and age in the NFL, you need to have a good offensive line to be successful, and I think you need to have at least a respectable secondary. And if not, you need a great pass rush. And I don't think that pass rush for Kansas City is great. I think it's good. And against a team like Denver, I just don't think that's good enough. So there's a huge number in this game, though, guys. Denver's favored by 13 points. So I like Denver to win the game, but 13 points is a lot. So I like Kansas City plus the 13, but Denver to win the game outright. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe. Always previewing games. All right, talking the news of the day. Thanks as always for listening. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy Week 2.